Hey cycling community, this is Steve Grusis, the Cycling Greek. On an early Labor Day Monday morning, a large group of us, half of which were my teammates, went out on a training ride. Each of the many sections on that course had its own character, which provided us with specific training. This video is about one of those sections. This particular section is a 9-mile climb made up of small hills undulating up to the town of Prather, California. Young Zach attacked previously, and I jumped on his wheel. Young Zach is a former teammate of mine and 40 years younger than me. Boy, it sounds weird just to say it out loud. Right at the top of the first climb, I had to let him go because I just couldn't keep up. And I knew there was another climb coming right after that, so redlining right now would not have been a good idea. The first part of the second climb has always been a toughie for me. There are some climbs that I just find easier than others. Now, the person that just passed me is a very strong recreational rider who I wish was my teammate. He has done a few doubles, but he has won most of those that he's done. Fast forward about 75 seconds, and I've finally been able to work my way up to his wheel. In my AFib comeback, I've been able to get my heart rate up to the red line, dial back a bit when I need to, and then go again. There's still a lot of work I have to do with this, but thus far I'm quite pleased with my progress. My heart rate data is at the bottom of the display. My max is in the low 160s, like 162, maybe 163. A lot of the chasing and hanging on wheels I'm doing at the mid to high 150s. I don't have a lot of room for error. Eventually I lost his wheel, and as I was chasing I was passed by another doubles rider who was in our group. I got up to his wheel and we formed our own chase group. Now we were chasing the guy whose wheel I just lost and this other rider from our group who's also a doubles rider. In fact, he was the rider that was featured in my most recent video. As the chase stacks up, the two in the front are very strong doubles riders. The two in the back, me being one of them, is made up of a 63-year-old guy with AFib and a doubles rider who's also very strong that I'm barely able to keep up with, who did a double century 2 days ago. Without saying a word, we pretty much know what to do. I notice that he's having a little trouble on the climbs. So on the climbs is where I take my pull. He has the TT type bars in the front, so he's usually taking the flats. Of course, this being a 9-mile climb of undulations, there are times when he takes some risers and I take some flats. Our teamwork is working. The gap is slowly, very slowly coming down. It's just a question of, can we get them before they get to the top? As I take over with 2 climbs to go, I see that we're getting closer. I didn't know about my breakaways double that he did the 2 days previous until after the chase. He was looking as worked as I was feeling in this endeavor, and because of that, I was putting everything into this. Whenever I would pull off, I'd be so on the edge that I'd barely have enough energy to recover on his wheel. And by the looks of it, I'm sure it was the same for him. We are currently on a false flat. We have one more climb to go. They're in front of us and we see them. We are both tired and my heart rate's been in the mid to high 150s all this time. Just after the start of the last climb, the 2 leaders are about 100 feet away from us. Ruel, my breakaway partner, puts in a big dig. I then go to the front. I don't jump because I still want him on my wheel, and I keep it even, and I know I'm starting to run out of energy. It's at that point I decide that I'm going to get Ruel as close as I can to those 2 so he can jump up to them. Ruel apparently had the same idea. He just sacrificed himself for me. I guess we should have verbally communicated just a little bit. All in all, a great workout. I hope you enjoyed this. Remember, comment, like, subscribe. The Cycling Greek.